Hello, everybody. Welcome to a kind of impromptu little Sunday fun day here. And yes, I know there's no beautiful Megan with me. I'm very sorry to deprive y'all of her wonderful visage, but instead, y'all are gonna just put up with my ugly mug. I decided I need to talk about the Netflix sort of newish kind of movie that came out recently. And those are wondering, I'm going to try to actually do a review of My Name is Dolomite, the movie that start pretty much trying to be Eddie Murphy's comeback story and everything. I am curious about it. Just, of course, I gotta wait till the end of October till I can finally get to it. Probably might wait till like about November, as you can guess, because Tall Girl, which is what I am reviewing right now. You know, this Tall Girl.
We've all got something about ourselves we wish we could change.
You're my big little sister.
That's me.
The only thing that we can control is how we deal with it. When you're a tall girl, it's the only thing that people see.
It's not the only thing I see.
Yeah, I'm talking about Tall Girl, and it's been out for a few months now. I was wanting to eventually get to it. Originally, I was like, but then I've kind of been hearing more and more about it, and I'm like, especially considering none of the news has been particularly good. And I'm like, well, I gotta check it out now. So, real quick, well, not even a quick recap, to talk about Tall Girl, a very on-the-nose name. Those who are wondering what even is Tall Girl, it is a movie about a young girl. Her name is Jody, who is tall. Movie. There we go. That's the entire movie. Part of the issue with this movie, you have seen this before. You have seen this in She's All That. You have seen it in, 10 Things I Hate About You. You give me a romantic comedy that has come out recently that deals with a quote-unquote ugly girl getting pretty and either finding self-confidence or finding love. You have seen this movie. This also has, I don't call them homages, I call them more of just ripping off, pretty much. Scenes from Pretty in Pink and Hell, stuff that reminds me a lot of 16 Candles. I feel like there was a point where they really wanted this to be like a John Hughes kind of film. This does, at times, almost have that distinct, we're ripping off John Hughes real hard here flavor. The problem is this movie is painfully bad. It's not so much it is not a very interesting movie. That's one of the big faults of the entire film. Like, to describe the entire plot is not very difficult. Jody feels uncomfortable in her skin because she is very tall. She is 6'1", which is supposedly really tall. I mean, I'm kind of a short shit, and that's taller than me, but like I said, I am a short shit. So it's like, okay, well, she's supposedly super ginormous. The movie, just to let you know, hammers this point home just over and over and over again, to the point where it actually kind of destroys a lot of characters, and it makes you really quickly want to check out the film. Like, the first scene, it's literally Jody looking at this one guy who's kind of flirting with her back and forth while they're kind of reading Spark Notes. And he is about to ask her out, but then she stands up and, oh, she's so giant. Oh, gosh, she can't be. I don't know why the guy reaction is, oh. It's bizarre. It's really weird that everybody acts so weirded out that she's tall. It's like, yeah, it's kind of odd to see a really tall girl in... I don't even dare call her girl. She is a young woman. It's kind of weird to see a really tall young woman in high school, but is it that bizarre? I mean, people have just been getting taller and taller throughout the centuries. Like, if this is like in the 1800s, it'd be weird. where everybody's pretty much, you know, midget height. But, why is this so weird? It's like, why do people act so like, the worst thing is they want to hammer home, like I was saying, like the She's All That, or My Big Fat Greek Wedding also makes me think of it. They want you to look at her like she's very homely. Like she wears kind of frumpy little clothes, but to be fair, anybody who is, you know, kind of tall is going to have to wear big clothes on them, because there's not a whole lot of things made for people that are really long and tall. Unfortunately, because people are stupid. Unless you're a model, but you also then need to be the size of, you know, a rail. But yeah, we have to have all these people acting like she's ugly. And in fact, numerous times they comment on the fact she's ugly. It's like, why? She looks like Sansa Stark, but slightly taller. What is so ugly about this? It's a point that the movie wants to drive home, but it seems to keep ignoring what the word ugly actually means, or anything like that. Instead, it wants to make this girl feel uncomfortable in her skin by having people say stuff that doesn't seem to fit within, one, her actual complexion. I know that's a normal critique of any kind of like teen romance movies that wants to drive onto this, you know, particular issue. But here it really, really doesn't work. Because, again, it flip-flops between the, oh, she's really tall, she's really ugly, and it's like, okay, well, what does it matter if she's tall? What does that have anything to do with her appearance? And not only that, but it's like, she, one, again, is not an ugly girl. She's a pretty young lady. It's like, what is... They don't do anything to try and make her look homely. Like, at least do the stupid glasses thing. Like, trust me, these things don't tend to make you look particularly, you know, like anything but, hey, Kylie, forget your... You know, anything like that. They make you look a little dweeby. Or, you know, make her look mousy. Do something. It's like, they don't try. It's like, at least give some effort here, film. But no, we just have to have constantly, it's like, oh, well, Jodi's so ugly because she's so tall. It's like, tallness doesn't make someone ugly. It's like, one of these things is not like the other, film. Blah. So we have that issue constantly going on. Then we get to be introduced to Jodi's token black friend. I don't even remember her name. She is literally just token black friend. She exists so that way Jodi can have a existential crisis at one point, and they could not be friends for a bit and then come back together. That is literally the only existence of this character. This character doesn't have a purpose outside of that. And again, like I said, I don't remember her name. Like, I remember the main character's name. I remember the love interest. There's actually two love interests. I remember the bully to the main character's name. I don't remember the best friend. It tells you how forgettable she is. And to be fair, if you cut her out of the film, it doesn't take away from anything. It's like, at best, it takes away like 3 scenes that really don't amount to much. But yeah, we see this best friend, and she's trying to defend Jodi, and Jodi's kind of meek is the best way to describe how she reacts with other people. And then eventually she's and constantly there's this monologue that she's going through, this narration that she's having where she's talking about, you know, how she feels. She's like, oh, I just want to find a cute guy, blah, blah, blah. But the only guy that really likes me is this guy who I've been best friends with for years. Alright, so, a few problems with this. This guy, his name... They keep calling him Dunkers, or Dunkelman, or something like that. I think his name's actually Dunkelman, but they call him Dunkers, or something like that. Alright, now, there can be the whole nice guy trope, but to be fair, it's like, somewhat that seems to be coming up here and there in this film. The, you know, oh, well, he's just a nice guy. The girl just won't pay him any mind. it feels like they wanted this to be Deke from Pink, Pretty in Pink. Oh, I just called it Pink. Well, I mean, I'm dumb, people. But instead, they went with making Jody very... Because they don't make him annoying enough, but they make Jody also too passé about it. Like, she keeps saying, well, you're not my type, and he kind of does say, it's like, well, what is your type? It's like, you know, we've always been friends, we've always been nice with each other, let's go out, let's see what happens, It's like, if we can't, we don't really see each other in that way, cool, whatever. He tries to be nice to her and tries to actually look out for her in different ways throughout the entire film. That's constantly hinted at. And it's weird at first that she just doesn't have a... Like, she's just completely turned off at the idea of even, like, being near him. And it's like, why? Because he's a little weird? You're a little weird, lady. And this doesn't have anything to do with your height. It just deals with the fact that she's like a super smarmy kind of smart girl. Which, hey, it's fine to be smarmy, it's fine to be smart, I don't care, but realize that's a little bit of an oddity. Not saying you need to change anything, because Lord knows I'm smarmy and I try to act smart, even though I'm not. Yeah, he goes into that, and of course, then here comes in the new love interest. This guy, he's supposed to be Swedish. His name is Stieg. And dear God, this guy. This is like his first real acting gig. He is a model. And it's not that he is particularly terrible. He's fine. The accent they have him do, it is just Jamie Lee Curtis's Trading Places fucking Swedish accent. Yeah, I'm from Sweden. Except for it's not even that much and actually trying to sound semi-Swedish. He just sounds like a guy who doesn't quite know what a British accent is, and I'm gonna go this ways. So they're like, he's Swedish? I don't know. It's so annoying hearing this guy talk the entire time, because it just feels really fake, and it constantly distracts from the entire movie. It's like, God, this guy doesn't feel like a real human being. He feels like a character from a shitty rom-com. Which, hey, it's what I'm watching right now. But yeah, Stieg shows up and Jodi crushes on him, yeah. And then, I don't know why it's slipping in Minnesota. That's almost what it more sounds like at times. Oh, my dad, going to Minnesota, yeah. They pushed up on the roof. Or rough, actually, is how it's pronounced. At least how they pronounce it. Or do rum. Minnesota. But yeah, I guess it probably would make sense. He is from Wisconsin, so I mean, he is from up near there. I know Wisconsin and Minnesota are not the same place, just near each other. But yeah, so Stieg crushes, or kind of is sort of interested in Jodi, and she's more interested in than Stieg is, and Stieg ends up start dating this one girl. Her name is Kimmy, and Kimmy, they keep making a big deal that she's so beautiful and so attractive. It's like, alright, so Jodi is like an 8, and Kimmy is like an 8.04, or maybe 0.03. She's maybe slightly prettier. The only difference is she's shorter. Who fucking cares, really? And who gives two blue shits? I know I don't. I don't care. This all happens in like the first 35 minutes. But also we need to be introduced. And this movie just throws characters at you. And you're like, slow down, movie. Hold your horses. Because it has to take time. It wants to introduce all these characters. Like, we have to be introduced to Jodi's sister, who does play a bit of a part, but again, it is a bit part in the entire film. The main character is Jodi, but we still have to have this introduction to her sister, who is this pretty, pageant kind of sister. She's got a few lines that make me chuckle, but it's only because they're just so kind of off the wall nutty. And that's the best thing to say about them. And then there is her mother. I'm pretty sure I recognize the actress from something. Can't remember. She is your stereotypical bland mother figure. Is willing to, hey, go Jody, do what you want to do. You know, so I'm worried about that. And not worried about trying to do anything but make sure her daughter has a good life. Cool, A-okay. No problems there. Then there's Steve Zahn, who plays Jody's dad. And this is easily the worst character probably in the entire film, next to not Swedish Stieg. Now, I understand that some people may not be able to always cope with a disability that may be hindering their child. Let's say if that child has ALS, that child may have spina bifida, maybe they're paralyzed, or maybe they grow up and they don't have hands. You know, some parents can't always cope with that. And I don't agree with, completely just like the people who will just up and abandon or any other shit that they want to fucking do. But, it does say something about a parent that's willing to try and overlook any of their child's disabilities and trying to help them and everything like that. But I'm not going to sit here and condemn the people who just run away from that. Yes, we want to say, oh, they need to take responsibility. It's a lot of responsibility to shove on somebody, especially when knowing anything, they're not very old. Though, because Steve Zahn always looks like he's perpetually about 42. And Jody's supposed to be, I want to say, 16. So, obviously, he would have been young at the time. That being said, Jody doesn't have a disability here. She's just tall. Who fucking cares? And constantly, he has to hammer home the fact that he finds it weird that she's tall. He keeps making remarks to her about her being tall, about it possibly causing health side effects. In fact, very early on, we're supposed to see his comedy scene where he's wanting Jody to undergo some kind of experimental growth stunting thing so that way she doesn't keep growing tall. Never mind the fact that doctors have shoutouts like this can actually lead to more and more health side effects down the way than if she's just tall. This is not a good person. This is not how you make your characters. You're not going to find your audience going to be able to care about a father figure who is so willing to just berate his daughter at times about the fact she's tall. It's like, oh, well, you might be having this because you're good tall. It's like, thanks, dickhead. And maybe she should go, maybe you're getting rectal cancer because you have your own head up your ass that far. He's such a fucking dickhead. By the end of the movie, they try to redeem him a little through a few different things, but it's so little and so late in the film, you don't care. And on top of everything, it is not enough to even make up for all the shitty behavior he did beforehand. He's just the worst. But yeah, that's pretty much the setup for the film, and the rest of the movie is Stieg kind of liking Kimmy, but also kind of falling a bit for Jody. Jody finding self-confidence and eventually, finding herself, and Dunkelman or Dunkers, him actually sticking up for Jody during this one fight scene or something like that, and I don't care. That's the biggest issue, is that by the quarter or about 3/4 mark, you're more than don't give a shit levels of I don't fucking care, guys. I just don't. It tries a few things, I guess, because it tries to still have Stieg be a bit of a douchebag to Jody, and he ups in what's the word I'm thinking of? Pretty much he just ghosts her for no fucking reason whenever she was supposed to be going to her sister's special pageant thing that we're supposed to care about. The only thing is it was good for a couple of chuckles here and there with the sister being weird. And throughout it all, Jodi's supposed to be finding self-confidence, and she's supposed to be becoming a better, love herself more and all this and that. It's like, dear God, the movie Penelope did this better. The movie Penelope is a bit on the nose, pun not intended. Those who have never seen Penelope, go watch it. It's cute. It's fun to watch James McAvoy set in England, but not even attempting a British accent. But you can tell he's very, very not comfortable with this American accent yet. He constantly slips. It's kind of funny. Oh, but yeah, so the end of the movie, there's this big lead up to the homecoming, and here's where I will say this much. Like, despite the fact that I'm giving this movie a lot of shit right now, the dad's a terrible character. Jodi is kind of... She doesn't make a lot of sense as a character throughout certain parts of it. The best friend is completely forgettable. Dunkers is kind of almost on the edge of being the nice guy syndrome, and it's kind of uncomfortable as well. Stieg is very fucking annoying and a terrible actor at times. Whenever he trying to do the horrible acting, and it sounds so shitty. And Kimmy is just your prototypical, oh, she's ugly because she's tall. And in fact, that is even almost a line that they say. And it's like, how does that make sense in your brain? But at the end, during the homecoming dance, they do change the formula up slightly. In the fact that they decide to have Stieg still be with Kimmy during it. And they get crowned homecoming king and queen and all this fun stuff. And Jodi shows up, and she's wearing this outfit that she says is her, wearing these shoes that Dunkers got her. Or I should say heels. They pretty much make her massive, it looks like. It's like one is like, okay, so, I guess she's coming into and accepting her own height, because it should make her look fucking taller. Like, she is massive in this particular scene, but hey, it's cool. It's whatever she wants. Be as tall as you want to be. You want to be 8'2", go be 8'2". And she gives the whole prototypical speech, and literally it's just plot point by plot point. Alright, here's a resolution, here's a resolution, here's a resolution. It's kind of absurd in how basic it's doing everything. But she eventually leaves after telling everybody, it's like, I'm just going to be me. Thanks for telling everybody this. Glad you're happy. And Stieg says he's breaking up with Kimmy during that, and he runs after Jodi, and he says like, hey, it's like, how about we actually try? Because earlier in the movie they kissed, and that's where he kind of, oh, I really like you and stuff like that. And that's where it does the twist. She says no. She actually says, no, it's like, you need to be happy with what you want to be happy with. It's like, we can be friends, but obviously that's all we really can be, and that's fine. That's what it is. And then I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. The movie decides to go for where she ends up with nobody. But that's fine. She is allowed to make that choice as her option. Cool, that's more power to you, movie. It almost gives a little bit of a bittersweet kind of a taste in my mouth. Because, let's just be honest, like a rom-com that ends without the main character being able to get what they truly want, which she does want a boyfriend. That is the truth of the matter. People can try and say, oh, well, no, she just need to have a man. It's like, it's not so much that she needs to have a man, she wants a man. It's like, let her be able to get what she wants. So more power to her. Now, before the whole homecoming, Dunkers had gotten in trouble and he was grounded thanks to throwing a party that his mom did not condone. And he and one of his, this one girl he's kind of crushing on, sent a video to Jodi showing Dunkers standing up for her. Like, he was actually standing up for her whenever Stieg was kind of being a douchebag still. And it's kind of sweet. It's very, it's what you would expect, but it's like, oh, okay, well, that's very sweet of him to do that. And Jody goes to Dunker's house. And she kind of talks with him and kind of is like, well, why didn't you tell me that you stood up for me? He's like, well, it's not important that you know that I stand up for you or that I stood up for you. You know that I will do that no matter what. I'm never going to turn my back on you. You are my best friend. And all this. It's like, okay, that is really sweet. That is really caring. And at that point, she pretty much says, like, you are the one I wish to be with. You're the guy who I've... And she says one thing that... It just like, damn it, movie with me. Throughout the entire movie, they make a big deal that he likes to carry all of his school supplies in a milk crate with him, a wooden milk crate. And she asks him, it's like, okay, before we can do anything, I have to ask, why do you have this stupid milk crate with you? And mind you, Dunkers is a kid who's like 2 or 3 inches shorter than me, so he's a short little asshole. And he flips it over and stands on it. He's at height with her, and he says, for this. And he hugs her, and they kiss and embrace. It's like, damn it, movie, that was cute. That was damn cute how to end. I just wish the rest of the movie was that way. The movie has a cute-ass ending. I will say that much, as coy as I can be. It's an adorable ending. It is really, really cute. But damn, is it not worth the fucking ride? That's the biggest problem with this film. Jodi is a fine actress. She does good with what she's given, but she's not given anything. Constantly, what they want her to do makes her flip-flop to the point where she almost seems bipolar at points. Her dad is a fucking prick in the worst ways, and it's like, I don't care about this guy. What redemption they try to do at the end really does not... It feels, like I said, too little, too late. Then you have Dunkers. He's a nice enough dude, though there's points to where he's kind of insufferable. Like I said, they wanted this to be Ducky, but at the same time, it's like, it's not Ducky from Pretty in Pink, so it doesn't always work. In fact, a lot of times it kind of doesn't work. The best friend, she is not even a point to have in this fucking movie. In fact, it feels like all the shit that was going on with the best friend could have just been the shit that either they gave with the sister or anybody, because pretty much the sister's the one who helps her try and inspire confidence in Jodi. And in fact, she's the one who says, like, you need to be confident in yourself. She pushes her sister to be herself. It's like, alright, that's a great message. The execution is fucking terrible. And that's the issue. Is like, there's a lot of times this movie, it feels like it constantly waffles between wanting to be like a squeaky clean teen kids movie to being a teenage 80s rom-com. Which teenage 80s rom-coms were kind of fucking pervy at times. And they were also a little bit... I'm sorry, bug. They were also a little bit on... They had a little edge to them. There's no edge to this, and that's an issue. It's like, everything's just so chipper and sweet and cute and all this, and it doesn't work for the entire film. Like I said, it feels like they're wanting to rip off John Hughes without understanding all what made John Hughes great. It's like, trust me, there needs to be more to it than stereotypes. There needs to be more to this film than just the characters just being bland. I mean, the biggest characters I can remember is simply because they were the ones that were focused on the most. But beyond that, I remember them more for their archetypes than I do because they're fucking names. Except for Stieg, because he was so annoying. Because his accent was so obviously terrible and fake. Which, it's like, good God, Gary Oldman would just shake his head. She was like, that's not how you do a terrible Swedish accent. At least try, man. I did a terrible Russian accent and I wasn't even trying. Oh, God, this movie is so bad. But I can't hate it. That's the bad thing also. I cannot absolutely hate the movie. I can't really suggest this for anybody. Like, maybe if you're like 10, you might like the movie a little. But even then, like I said, it's forgettable. Like, you're going to watch it and you're going to be like, oh, well, that was a piece of shit. I'm going to forget about that soon. And realistically, by the end of it, it's like anybody who has actually watched a number of rom-coms are going to be like, well, I know all these tropes. And the movie just feels a little too by the numbers, and ultimately some of the stuff just doesn't make as much sense as it really should. So, realistically, by the end of it all, it's a 2. It's not a good film. It really feels like they didn't put a ton of money into it. Like, here's $14, let's go make a movie. And because of, sometimes it's almost cheapness, but not only that, but it's ultimately just really languid attitude with how it really wants to tell a good story. It's just, it ends up being just a mediocre flick. Like, at best, and on top of everything, with all these really, really bad characters, it makes the movie feel really, really fucking shitty. Like, you can take a mediocre story and raise it up with really good and interesting characters. You weigh it down more when you have bad characters in it, which this is a plethora of them. So, that's Tall Girl for you. The most I can say is, she's tall. The movie's shit. Miss this if you're curious about Netflix, so you better waste your time. But hey, Megan and Me should be back this upcoming weekend with something that everybody's sort of happy about and we're not looking forward to. Maybe it'd be better than we think. But hey, we'll let y'all know how we feel when it comes to the Joker. So until then, everybody, I'll see y'all later. So bye-bye, everybody.